Hey there, guys. It's Mia here. I am so excited. I am so excited about this live today. I'm going to teach very simply the cost of playing too small. This is going to be for those of you who you have had a huge dream vision for your life, and you know that you're not playing at the highest and tallest level. And although it might look good, you might smell good, okay? On paper, it might be amazing, but you know that there's more for you. I'm going to be talking directly to you. I'm Mia Redrick, business and life consultant. I got started in my company over 20 years ago, and I simply made a decision to go to work as myself. I wanted to figure out how to take my background as a corporate trainer. I worked for a Fortune 100 company. And I wanted to figure out how to leverage my skills, my soft skills in motherhood into a business. And I knew it was possible. I had these really great skills in motherhood to always systematically find time for myself, be a great mom, but be great to myself. Hey there, Robin. Good to see you. And I just knew that I could support other women with a movement around the world. And that was the vision that I had. But I had no idea how to do this. And I had to trust myself, right? What Tinkerbell says, faith, trust, and Pixie does. Hey, Carla, good to see you. And I did it. So I want to have this conversation with you tonight. I want to talk a little bit about the mindset that it takes to face your fears, to step inside that big, bodacious dream, even though there's no evidence or proof that it's possible. I want you to know that it absolutely is. And do me a favor, if at any point in this live you're supported, share the live with someone else and invite them to join us and join this conversation tonight. Tonight, I'm going to talk simply about the cost of playing too small. And I wanted to do this specifically because I know if you are a giant, and if you're watching this, you're a giant for sure. You're smart, you're sharp, you're talented. Your life has had nothing but evidence. You're high integrity. And you're trying to figure out how to take all of those great pieces, put them together to work for yourself, how to monetize your skills, your talent, your expertise, your education. And maybe, just maybe, when you think about it, every time you think about doing it, you just don't launch yet, or big enough, or fight for your dream. I'm talking to you. See, when I got started 20 years ago, I told my husband simply, I want to go to work as myself. And what he literally said was, I hope somebody pays you to be you. Okay. And we laughed about it at the time. And then years later, he spoke at my conference, a Time for Mommy conference, and that I held in Baltimore. I think it was at that time the sixth or seventh conference. And he said, um, you know what? I'm so glad that she decided to go to work as herself. So even if you have people in your life and world right now that you cannot provide them with the answers of how you're going to do what you're going to do, it doesn't mean that you can't maximize the gift and the talent. I want you to hear me on this. I'm going to get started in the next couple of minutes, and I'm going to go deep on the cost of playing too small. But I can tell you this, as a result of me going for my dream, I've been able to be the kind of wife that I wanted to be. When my husband developed kidney disease, I could show up because I had time. I had built an amazing business that gave me the time freedom to stand in the gap for my family. We were able to hire an amazing private physician for my husband, so he got amazing care. My children, my husband and I, have given them an amazing education. We've invested, over $1 million just in elementary, middle, and high school, not college, elementary, middle, and high school. And it was the kind of education that we chose for them. And I'm so grateful I built a business that allowed for us to create options for our family. And equally, as a family, we've been able to travel the world together, which I know a lot of the women that follow me, that's something that's important, family time. But in order for you to really be able to spend time together, or for you to spend time alone, you've got to own your time. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. The cost of playing too small is owning your time. And it's something that I treasure. I date myself individually. I date my husband every other week. We date every week. And I date my kids once a month individually. When they all were younger, it was a lot easier when everybody was home. Obviously, my daughter's way at college, so I can't date her. But it's something that's really meant a lot to me and my family. And so I'm going to talk about that today. So if you're ready and you've been watching my lives, you know if you're ready, then I want you to simply write, I'm ready, because you do have to be ready to receive a powerful message. And if you're ready, I want you to simply write, I'm ready. And I'm going to get started. The cost of playing too small. I've got some small notes here, okay? 7 points I'm going to cover with you today. And my only goal is to shake your shoulders a bit so that you stand tall for yourself, that you show up as the giant that you are, that you stop settling for what you can do and opposed to what is possible for you. And I'll explain the difference on this live. Robin is ready. Is anyone else ready? If you're ready, just write simply, I'm ready. And if you're watching this as a replay, which many of you will, then I want you to write, I'm ready. I was inspired by this live tonight because Carla's ready, because this was the crossroads for me, that I could have decided to, I didn't know any other mom coaches when I got started. I started as a mom coach. I didn't know any mom coaches, right? I could have decided, like, I don't know if this is possible and this isn't going to work. But I was so grateful that I honored that vision on my life, and that I did the work, and that I leveraged all of my professional experience to be able to build out an amazing business that's allowed me to transition as a business coach, to share with my clients what I've done, Kimberly, personally. I only teach what I've done. I don't teach what I've read or what I've borrowed, right? I just teach what I've done, okay? And it's been an amazing journey for me. I've coached thousands of women literally all around the world and demonstrated for them exactly what I've done to be able to be signed to Emmy nominated, nationally syndicated television shows as paid talent. I've also showed them how I've leveraged my opportunities to do corporate deals with Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 brands, and how many of my clients have had the opportunity through my step-by-step process to be able, many of them are free, who've gone from working a full-time job and transitioned as a result of running an amazing business that sustained them. And our philosophy in the community is, when you get free, you stay free. So not this flash cash, make money for now, and you don't have a solid foundation, Patricia. But also, many of my clients, even if they're not free, have done exceptionally well. And they've learned the value and the power of their ideas. And they've been able, many, to go from sometimes trading time for dollars, just $200 an hour, to now charging at least $2,500 per client. Many of them charge a lot more than that, anywhere between $2,500 to hundreds of $1,000s per client. And everything that I say, I have clients that have shared their experience with me. And I can't guarantee that that will be your experience, but I can tell you that they've done the work. And so if you're open to some new ideas, you're in the right place tonight. Let's just get started. So Patricia's ready, Kimberly's ready, Carla's ready, Robin's ready. Let's do this. All right. So we're talking today about the cost of playing too small. And the first point that I want everyone to note, or you can even write these down or write them down here in the chat, is you settle for your life currently, right? Instead of realizing what your possibility could look like. And I find this to be the case, that when we don't understand the cost of not going for that big dream, it is because we're in that state of settling. So this is what settling looks like. All right. All right. And I'll just use me as an example, and I want you to think about you. All right. But settling looks like, for the majority of my life, right now, I'm about 45 pounds overweight. Okay. So for the majority of my life, I've always run track, or when I was young, I ran track, or I've been very, very athletic. I love to lift weights. Okay. And so, you know how if you start to gain weight and 5 pounds, you gain, and 10 pounds, and you start to settle. All right. Meaning, that the clothes aren't fitting the same way, and you're not looking the same way, right? You know what I'm saying? But you start to settle. All right. You know that you start to puff when you huff and puff when you're walking up and down the steps. Somebody is going to relate to what I'm talking about. When you bend over, you're grunting. Come on. All right. Well, settling is a lot like that. Now I'm using me as an example and my 45 pounds. All right. But I want you to think about, as it relates to your vision for your life and your business, how are you settling? What have you said yes to that you know does not fit you anymore, and you know it's got you huffing and puffing, and you know it's not giving you the time, it's not giving you the freedom, it's not giving you the lifestyle, it's not giving you the choices, it's not giving you the happiness that you desire. Now, this is not about not accepting who you are. Are we clear? This is not about you looking at your life and your work and saying, I hate this job, right? Although some of you might. But this is about understanding that there is a better way to live. Are we clear? Hashtag better way to live, right? Og Mandino, that was one of his books, right? Titles, A Better Way to Live. It's a great book, by the way. There is a better way to live. And a lot of times when we are settling, number one, instead of realizing our possibility, we are not owning that there is a better way to live. We start to accept the settle. Even though we know that the settle does not improve the quality of our existence, the quality of our life, we actually know what it could be, what the possibility is, and what it looks like, but we settle. And so I'm talking today about the cost of when you play too small. And when you play too small, it means that you start to normalize the settling. Buy bigger clothes. All right, in my case, like buy bigger clothes. All right, instead of doing what you need to do to overcome what you need to overcome to be who you really want at the highest and tallest level. And all of us have points in our life and in our world where we have settled. All right. And tonight I'm talking about what is the cost of what the settle looks like when it's related to your business. It may mean that you haven't been able to show up at the games you wanted to show up at with your kids. It may mean that you haven't been able to date your spouse, or you're too tired for anything else. And you know what I'm talking about. It could really mean that you don't even have the time for yourself to have clarity of purpose. You're just on the hamster wheel day after day, and you know that there's more for you. All right. It could mean that, that when you think about the amount of time that you're working and you think about the amount of dollars at the end of the year or month to do what you want to do, that you have to choose 1 or 2 weeks of vacation instead of maybe you wanted to go away for 4 weeks or 6 weeks, and you have to wait every other year to accumulate time to do that. It's a settle. Are we clear? Are we clear? Number two. The second thing is that allows you to realize if you're playing too small is that you trade and sell your time instead of leveraging it. So if you're trading time for dollars, let me explain what that looks like. That means that, let's say you earn currently, I don't know, $200 an hour, $300 an hour. And so you don't get paid unless you show up, right? Like $200 an hour. You're trading time for dollars. And you don't have something in your wheelhouse, although you're incredibly smart and sharp, and you could create an amazing course curriculum. You could license your thought leadership. You could operate as a consultant with your training, or as a coach, but you don't know how to put your intellect together in a structure to work for you. And so because you don't know that, you are trading time for dollars. And it means that if you don't show up, there is no earning. Does that make sense? So leveraging your intellect is completely the opposite of that. That means that you actually don't have to show up somewhere in order for you to be able to serve the world and create impact with your gifts. It means that you have the ability to duplicate yourself in ways that are immeasurable. There is no cap on your income when you understand the secrets of how to leverage all of your knowledge and your background and your gifts and your talents. Does this make sense? Are you getting value? All right. If you're getting value, I want you to write, I'm getting value. I'm talking today about what's the cost of playing too small. And right now I'm covering is when you're trading or you're selling your time instead of leveraging your time. It's something I learned a long time ago. When I worked in corporate America, we bought a lot of licensed content, a lot of it. And we paid a lot of money for licensed content, like hundreds of thousands of dollars for the opportunity, right? For us to take those programs in many cases and share that with the workforce. So we had to pay for a license in order for us to use what we had to teach others. Now, that's the ethical way. Now, there are other ways that people do this, but we're talking about ethics, right? All right. And I am telling you that you can take your knowledge, what you know, your expertise, your education, your gifts, your talents, you can put them in a structure and you can sell those to others through your courses and your training. And if you don't know how to do this, this is exactly what I've been doing with thousands of women who have made that step and choice to put themselves first in their knowledge and want to know how to leverage your intellect. It means that you could be selling right now your knowledge in a course that the course is already written and someone wants it and they buy it. And it's your course that you could be on the beaches of the world or like me earlier today in your garden all day, all day, all day. Did I say all day? All day. Okay. All day. All right. And your cash register could still be ringing because your knowledge is leveraging for you. It's doing the work for you. You know, if you don't know how to have a winning webinar, for example, that's distinct to you, I'm talking about a winning webinar that's distinct to you. All right. I've done an amazing job teaching my clients some really great principles and showing them how to be authentic by creating webinars. You know, I have a webinar that's been running, its birthday is tomorrow, 5 years. My webinars ran for 5 years, guys. I have a webinar that's run for 5 years. Why does it work? Because I'm myself, because I'm sharing real stories, because I'm not reading from a teleprompter, because I am literally sharing what I have done, and you can do exactly the same thing. I've taught tons of my clients who they have one webinar that they've used over and over and over again, but you need to know the structure. You need to know how to leverage your knowledge, your background, your gifts, and your talents so that they can work for you and they can work for you. All right. And is this making sense? Are you guys getting this, right? All right. And I wanted to break this down in a way so that you understand that your power is your authenticity. The thing that people want today more than anything is they want truth and they want you to be you. All right. And if you can show up with your talents, your skills, your failures that you've overcome, and you share your system and your process through a coaching course, a curriculum, a training, or licensing content, you can leverage your knowledge. There's no reason for this to be hard. And I'm into ease and grace. And if you're into it, then you're going to love the rest of this live. Number three, we're talking about the cost of playing too small. Number three is that the reality is that it's costing you right now because you're only using 40% of your capacity. Kimberly, I'm just going to break this down. You know this, and I know this. You're so incredibly smart and talented. You solve problems every single day. And even though people think, oh, you're so amazing, you know, you've got so much more that you could use. You're only using 40% of what is amazing about you. And if you would just take that step on the other side and show up as an entrepreneur, authentically using your gifts, standing in your power, understanding how to stand in your value and charge what you're worth, and boldly create impact for others, you could use that other 60%. And the reason why right now you're like, I could just do this in my sleep, and it doesn't bring you the excitement anymore, is because that other 60% is waiting on you. That's called your purpose, right? That's called your calling, that other part, okay? You put those things together, your calling and your purpose to create impact with your gifts, and you'll see that your life will be on fire again. It's interesting to me because I work with so many incredible, smart women who, when they come to me, they were dying on the inside. They did everything right, right? They like checked all the boxes. They went to school, they got all the degrees. Many of them did, you know, they create all the results. They have the accolades, 10, 20, 30 years of experience. They're the go-to person. However, on the inside, they know it's a lie, that there's so much more for them, that they're only giving the world 40% of their capacity. And when you are 110% being, 40% will never do. If this is you, I want you to say hello. Okay, I know I'm talking to you because if you are a high achiever, which I attract high achievers, and you know that your thought leadership is supposed to be out here in the world, You're trying to think, what in the world? How did I carve out this box for myself? And it's suffocating you. Okay. It's like it's making your life feel smaller than it needs to, because the reality is of it's your choices. It's that you got to be brave for you. You got to find courage, right, to show up for yourself. And I wanted to just shake your shoulders a little bit today, because I know that that's you. Okay. And I hope that as a result of what you're hearing, you're like me, you're talking to me. If I can support you in any way, you can always inbox me. I'll post a link to the Giant Experience. That's always a great first step if you're ready to take a giant step for you without excuses. And I'll get you all the way there. I promise you. Number 4. Okay. You've become bored playing inside of the straight lines. You know, like this line right here, the box. You're like, you're bored. Okay. Now, what bored looks like is sometimes we're bored and we actually don't know that we're bored. Okay. So, what boredom can look like is sometimes irritability. Sometimes boredom looks like, you know, you just become frustrated because you're like, I already know this. Why are we having this meeting again? Why are we on Zoom again, people? Okay, okay. Oh, really? Okay. So what you got to understand about yourself is this: you're a giant, okay? You got a giant purpose. And while where you are right now may have been an amazing route for you to get there, the truth of the matter is, in order for you to sustain your fulfillment, your joy, your happiness, is you got to step into it for yourself. That next level, the thing that never seen before. It's called faith, by the way, right? It's like, the unseen, like the unseen. It's pretty amazing when you step into the unseen. It's called faith. And for any of you guys, and I know I track a lot of incredible believers, for any of you guys that really quote any scripture about faith, then you know what I'm talking about. And the question is, are you stepping into faith with your decisions, making powerful choices, or not? And there really isn't a maybe. There isn't really a halfway of being faithful. I know for me, I just said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to say yes. And as I step into it, I'll figure it out along the way. And I had to do a lot of things to work on my own personal growth, to work on my own mindset, to be able to step into a giant life, right? A giant perspective, a giant vision for myself in particular, because I was around a bunch of great people who were not believing bigger for themselves. And so if I decided to ask any of them, what should I do? And do you think this is possible? They weren't necessarily looking for bigger. They were comfortable. And I don't mean bigger and to minimize anything that they wanted to do. It's just that I could see that I could create a movement based on what I knew. And somehow I just felt like God told me I could do this and I could do it. And I decided that the only way I would have evidence is that I'd have to act. And it would have to be an act of faith. I'm just breaking this down. And I was bored. I was so bored of being inside that box. The straight lines just didn't do it for me. It didn't excite me any longer. I knew that there was more for me calling me. I didn't want to get myself involved in, and I know you guys hang in there with me, right? But I was over status, right? That meant like you look good, you smell good, but you're broke at a whole nother level. Emotionally, you're bored, right? You're like, oh, pull my eyeballs out. Are we gonna sit on another meeting and talk about the same thing? You know what I mean? Do I have to act like I know the answer? I came with this idea, and do I have to act like it's your idea, or that is it okay to have these people taking these things from me, right? And I'm bored. I don't want this. I decided that there was more for me. And I know that if you're following me, then you're following me. And you understand exactly what I'm saying to you. And it's time for you to have a do-over, right? And many of you have already, have decided for yourself. Maybe you've been journaling. I want to do over. I want to do this thing over and over. I just cannot, I can't do it. There's not enough oxygen in this room for me to tolerate this level of chiseling, or this level of diminishing, or this level of someone wanting you to shrink your shine so that that in the office someone could shine more, right? It was crazy, right? Like you decided for yourself, like, I'm bored of that. I don't even want to play the game. Like, I don't want to play this game. I don't want to play this game. I don't want to play that game. You know what I'm saying? And I recognize the game. And you decide to create your own boards, pick your jacks up and go play somewhere else. And I hope that this is resonating because it's what so many women know. And I speak to all women, but I know so often women of color, this is a thing that you've dealt with for a long time, and that is sickening. Okay. And that you're over it. Okay, I get it. I understand it, right? You know what it looks like. We know what it smells like. You know what it is. And it's time. It is time for you to understand that the cost of playing too small, it keeps you in places where you don't have the flexibility to leave. And you already know that there's so much more for you. And I want you to know that. And I wanted to call this out. Number 5, your life has become a reflection of those around you who think small. So let me explain what this means. So your life has become a reflection of those who think small. And the way you can tell this is you can love great people around you in your world. But like if you start looking around at the people in your world and you're like, okay, she's been there for 20 years and he's been there for 30 years and she's been there for 25 years. And it's their choice. They're happy as a clam. But you're like, that's not really what I want. I actually want more than 2 or 3 weeks off a year. I actually don't want to have to ask anyone to do what I want to do. Like, I actually want to work from my home or anywhere that I choose. I actually want to pull my own strings, right? And if you're in that place, I want you to look at the people in your life and in your world overall and ask yourself, like, do you see that now you're reflecting the majority of the population that you've associated with in abundance? Because what I have found over the years being an entrepreneur, thinking outside of the lines, is there's a small number of people really that really think the way I think. I mean, not like what I'm thinking is exceptional or anything like that, but I think differently. And so I've had to typically invest to meet people who are my own ambition level and above. Are you doing that? Okay. And if you're not, then how do you expect your dominant association of what things can look like to change? If you're not in community, networking with people, your own ambition level and above, and I'm not talking about these networking groups that you go to and everybody's trying to sell you something. I'm talking about people who care about you, who are working on their own dreams at the highest level, who are willing to be transparent about what they're doing, who are showing up in amazing ways. I'm talking about having a mentor who cares about you, who holds you accountable, who is high integrity, who would never take a thing from you, lift one word from you. I'm talking about you having the opportunity to learn the behind the scenes for real from someone who has had the opportunity to do the things that they're teaching you. All right. I'm talking about advice that is not theoretical, okay, or somebody else's lesson. I'm talking about having truth teach you. And I want to break it down because a lot of people are so lost about who to and who not to listen to. This is one of my favorite songs by Amy Grant. Loved the song, and the song is called it's a Christian. She's a Christian singer, and long time ago, it's an old song, but it's some of you guys might know. It's called "You Got to Know Who to and Who Not to Listen to." Right? They're gonna hit you from all sides. You better make up your mind and learn who to and who not to listen to. And what I find, a lot of the women that I've mentored have had a lot of people that they have listened to who, quite frankly, were never doing the things they were teaching them. They maybe learned it from someone else or took it from somewhere else or modeled what somebody else was doing. But I will tell you that if your mentor is solid, and you can take this to the bank, they'll be able to show you whatever they're teaching you. They will have proof that they've done it themselves and that their clients have had the ability to duplicate that. Many of the clients over and over again, because that's what evidence looks like. And I hope that this supports you in some way. Number 6, Is this supporting you guys? I'm on fire tonight. There's 7 points, so 2 more. Are you on fire? If you are getting fire and heat from this, just throw a fire emoji, because, and even if you're watching the replay, because that is my goal. My aim is to wake you up, to give you some heat. All right, we're talking today about the cost of playing too small. And number 6 is, number 6 is something else. Okay, here's the cost of playing too small. And I have number 6 as, you apologize for being that good. Hey, Thomasine, you apologize for being that good. Yeah, I said it. Yeah. Anita's here. Hey, darling. Paula's here. You apologize for being that good, Lois, and happy, right? And Erica. Can you imagine? Now, here's the thing. This is how you know you're playing too small. When you start to be uncomfortable with being yourself, meaning you are that good, you are incredible at what you know how to do. And yet, when you go to stand in your value, ask for your value, show up for yourself in some way, you know what I mean? You want to apologize. You want to play it small, Kathy, or Delago, or like literally. So you know that this is costing you. Okay, this is something that I had to work all the way on, and I understand that I did not wake up confident. Woke up loved, because my mom loved me. Okay, but the fact of the matter is, because I was loved, okay, I could find confidence. And I want to talk about this for a minute, because the truth of the matter is, when you are really amazing at what you do, okay, you have to be able to receive, right? But like, there are people who don't want you to tell the truth about your narrative, about why you're good. They want to qualify you. They want to put it in a box. They want to say they can only accept you being good if they can disqualify you by being bad, right? Like you can only be successful if you were poor first. You know what I'm saying? Or uneducated first. Now, I know, listen, I'm going to go there. I am going to go there. I am going to go there, okay? You know what I'm talking about. And many of you are smart, sharp. You come from just incredible families and that have loved you, cared for you, provided for you. You have been the star academically, or because of your will and your might and your determination. You've achieved great things. And you've wondered over the years that, like, you walked into rooms that the room cannot acknowledge you being all of who you are without disqualifying you, right? This is what it looks like. It means, like, I say what you do, that's amazing, but I have to say, you could have been like this, but you're not like that, and you weren't like that. It's not even your story. Okay, y'all know, if you know what I'm talking about, just write amen, okay? Because I know that you know what I'm talking about. Or it looks like you are really good, and you find that there are times when it's your turn to take the stage, right? Yeah. Because it was time for you to take the stage, that the door didn't always, you were like, I thought it was my turn. I thought I had 15 minutes. You get like 1 minute, and you couldn't understand it, right? And you were just scratching your head and just ready to serve the world, and you just couldn't understand it. It is because you're that good, okay? And that so many people have been groomed, even though you're really, really good at what you do and you're amazing at what you do, you've been apologetic for being amazing. You understand? Like, people say you're being braggadocious, you're being arrogant. Like, who do you really think you are? I mean, like, let's break it down. Like, I have seen scenarios where it's like, okay, Black girl, okay, like, let me go all the way there. Black girl, who do you really think you are? Okay, Black girl, that's amazing. Okay, how about that? Okay, and accepting that and owning that. And it could be whatever nationality you are, for anyone that's watching. But I know that women of color, this is something that you have dealt with. You have seen where there's just maybe you in the room dealing with whatever you're dealing with, and you have people who you've had to apologize for being that good. And you know what it looks like when it happens. It's that quiet thing that happens, right? And or people try to make you feel, Patricia, that you're being prideful, right? Or you're being arrogant because you know the answer, or because it is your truth. You are really that good. The issue I want you to understand isn't that you are owning the truth. The issue is that the people you're dealing with can't stand the truth about you. And it's fact, but you be good anyway. And I think a solid foundation is so important. Um, but not all of us have a solid foundation to be able to rely on and go back to the words of like your mom or your dad, right? Telling you to do it anyway. But hopefully hearing me here that you hear do it anyway. Okay. Yeah, like Paula says, how dare you act like you know what you're talking about? Like, are you serious? You know what I mean? What really gets me is when you hear someone edify you and they'll say something really amazing about you and say, you're not dependent on the government. It's like the government, like what does it have to do with me? Okay, nothing, like zero. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like what shows you watching? You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't called the Redrick Show, and it certainly is not the Child Show. And you got to understand when you're being qualified, and when sometimes you can only be edified by some people if they qualify you. Right, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, it's sometimes at work, right? You see what it looks like. It's your turn, and it's like you just got lucky. You're just the one. You're the one. Okay, you're that one. Okay, I want you to understand that. We're talking today about the cost of playing too small. When you apologize for being good, okay, that is a cost. Do you understand? You are amazing. Accept it, breathe it in, become comfortable with your gifts. You don't have to, your gifts being amazing, you should not be a surprise to you. All right. So you need to sit down with a piece of paper today and write out for yourself, you know what I mean, your truth, and read it a couple times every day until you can breathe it in and own it. But it shouldn't be a surprise to you. And it doesn't need your validation is not anything that's external. Validation is for parking lots. It's not for belief systems. It's inner game, right? Like knowing what you're good at is an inner game. All right. And that's the way you're going to create impact with the people in your world, is because they're looking for truth. They're looking for someone that's courageous, and they're looking for someone that's brave. I mean, I'm gonna break this down, and I hope this helps you. Number 7. All right, okay, it's number 7. Number 7, you aren't earning what you deserve based on the results that you create. That's the price of playing too small. You're not earning, okay, what you could be earning. That, a lot of times what I see is that people are settling as it relates to how they're earning. And it's interesting because I have a lot of clients initially when they come to me have been, charging $200 an hour or whatever it is. And I show them a better way to be able to position themselves and package what they do, their knowledge, and price it. And then they start selling what they're doing for high ticket. I have clients have done extraordinary things. We were on a call just last week. Just last week, you were on the call, Robin, had a client who's closed over $1 million. Another client who's had the opportunity to step into her world of living abroad, like not living abroad, but like moving abroad and making that transition and making money, not being in an office after having been in the office for 20 plus years. It's amazing watching people step into it. Robin, you saw it. If what I'm saying, if you're my client and you hear it and you know that this isn't real, then you could just write, this is not real. Okay. If you're my client, okay. Because the reality is I don't have to hype you on anything. I mean, clients share what they're doing and I just pass it along. And I hope that it inspires someone. They pass it along because we know that it will help others know. But if you aren't earning at your highest and tallest level, based on the results you create, then it's costing you. And what it is, it's making you work too hard. And I think that like running a business allows you to build a business with ease and grace when you know how to build the business the right way. And that's what I'm into. I am not into, hustle and grind. It's not my thing. I am into authentically supporting women with showing up as the giants that they are. They have to be ready. They have to be investment minded. They got to be ready to do the work. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to drag you to success. But if you're in that place in your life and you're like, I'm ready for that. You don't have to be earning what you're earning. And I watch people, I have the client that just closed over $1 million in deals. It took her over 8 months to start to implement. Like 8 months, it was nothing happening. 8 months, nothing happening, but it was happening to her. So it wasn't happening on the outside, it was happening on the inside. And the thing that I loved about her that was so amazing is that she always leaned on the coaching that I gave her each and every week. And she didn't lean outside for other resources. I mean, people get twisted about what to do. She leaned in and she worked on herself. She read the book. She did the work. She was working on growing so that she could grow her belief system to stand into the person that could ask for these kind of deals. And and while I share with her many different structures, all my clients, of how to be able to negotiate at your highest and tallest level, once she had the belief system, she could show up just like the giant she was. And my clients, they create the results. That's the cool part, is that they do all the work. And many of them have done things that I've never done. When I first got started in business, I always tell my clients, I was an 18-month overnight success. I did not make money out the gate like my clients do, like the women that I work with, they do. However, I was working on me. And I always tell them, I say, the view's the same. The view is the same if you're willing to do the work. But sometimes you just need people to show you. So, if you don't know how to take what you're doing, package it, put it in a structure, price to fully value your gifts, it's the thing that's getting in the way. And it's time to do something different. So that's what I have for you today. If you want to understand how to do things differently, I'm going to recommend to you as a great first step with me. I'm pulling the link. Is the Giant Experience Master Training. It is an incredible training, and it has supported tons of women with stepping into their next for themselves in business. And hopefully you guys can see me. Let me see. Can you see me again? All right, I'm going to post a link here. I think when I grab the link, you couldn't see me anymore, but you can see me now, right? If you can see me, right, the number 1, okay? If you can see me again and hear me, 1, okay? 1, if you can see me. 2, if you can see me and hear me, okay? All right, and I'll wait for you guys there. That's what. Thank you, Erica. I appreciate it. So let me just quickly recap. Hey, Cheryl, love that picture, Erica. Hey, good to see you. I love you guys. All right, so I'm always, I'm here. I've had clients who have watched me on these lives for years. You've watched me build and grow my business over the last 20 years, and some decide to play, and then we rock it out. And I have clients who have watched me on these lives and immediately said yes. And I'm going to tell you that when you have the mindset and you're ready to go, and you don't want to play small anymore, I'm definitely for you. Hey, Kimberly, if you're ready in that place and you're like, I'm trying to figure out how to take my knowledge and put it in a structure and monetize it, I'm for you. All right. And I've got unconventional ways to really show you how to monetize. All right. So let me just quickly recap. And then if you have any questions for me, then I'll take your questions. All right. The cost of playing too small, to recap for those of you taking notes. Number 1, you settle instead of realizing your potential, right? We're clear about this. Number 2, you trade or sell your time instead of leveraging it. Number 3, you only use 40% of your capacity. Aren't you over that? I'm over that for you. Okay, there's so much more for you. Number 4, you become bored playing inside of the straight lines. You're like, I'm so bored with this. Okay, but it manifests in a whole different way, right? You're like irritation, irritability, right? Frustration. You're like, oh, goodness, right? Shoot me now. Number 5, your life becomes a reflection of the people that you're around. You're looking at people who are telling you they're making it, and you're like, this is not making it. Like, this is not what I saw for myself or what I want for myself in 20 years. So, you got to do something different. All right. Number 6, you apologize for being that good. Come on. We're not doing this. You already know what it looks like. We already know. I already called it out. Y'all already know. And number 7, You aren't earning what you deserve based on the results that you know how to create. So that's what I covered today. And thank you, Ajay. I appreciate you for being here, for writing that. I'm going to look at a couple of your comments. And if you have any comments, I'd love to hear from you. But also, if you have any questions, I'll answer a couple quick questions. Happy to do that. If it's about the Giant experience and how it can support you, we can start there. Um, Thank you. You guys are so amazing. There's so many comments. I don't even know where to go, right? Let's see. Robin writes, you must have been in my pocket today because I just said another meeting about nothing. We're over it, right? Like, come on. You know what I mean? We're born for so much more, right? And then Patricia says, 100%, thank you. And that part from Happy for You. Okay. And Erica threw the fire emojis, and many of you guys did. Thomasina and happy for you. I appreciate you guys for jumping in. And Thomasine said that this is a blessing. I appreciate you for being here. And Delago says, thank you, Mia. I'm glad to be here. Anita is here in the house. Awesome. And then someone on Facebook wrote, because I was loved, I could find confidence. Mia, you're the best. I appreciate you. I can't see your name. You can see that, right? Okay. And I would call your name out here. Paula, amen. I love the haircut, by the way. It's cute, cute, cute. And Carla says, amen. And okay. Oh, somebody said, oh, what's be got in your bonnet? Oh, yeah. Isn't that funny? It's sort of like, when you're just like being yourself or showing up and being powerful, it's like something's got to be wrong with you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you got to be maybe the strong woman today. It's like, no, I'm just being me. Like, I'm just talking about what I think. I'm just owning my power. I'm just saying what I know. Like, you don't need to qualify me or disqualify me, right? To qualify me. I don't need you to do that. Excuse me. I know what you're talking about, Mia. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Sometimes people say, hey, it's being prideful and all of that. And it's like, no, like, I'm not being prideful. Like, I just know what I know how to do. And I'm sharing that with you, just like you just shared your truth with me. But because I'm comfortable with people being giant, I can handle your giantness. Can you handle mine? How dare you act like you know what you're talking about? Like, come on, like, please. Okay. I didn't wake up like this. It's called years of experience, education, training, right? Okay. I worked on myself. Okay. And it's not that they cannot believe that you're great. They're jealous that you're great. They want to knock you down a peg so that they feel better about themselves. My husband always says they hate you because they ain't you. That's probably the case. It's usually people who think they know so personal information. Sometimes I think it is, and I think sometimes it's people who don't know you. It's like I was thinking about this the other day because we just put down a lot of sod. We just resodded our lawn, and the grass is really green, right? Okay, and I have great neighbors, and I love them. But grass is really, 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 really green. Okay. And you know how when your grass is really, really green, you always hear like the grass is green on the other side. And I was thinking about that, like when I was watering the sod, and I was like, this right here is probably what they're talking about. Because all my neighbors are like, man, that grass is really green. And it was really green because it was fresh sod. But that's kind of what's going on. It's sort of like you're not thinking about their grass not being green. They're thinking about your grass being green, right? You're trying to water your sod. Okay, you're trying to take care of your stuff. Okay, you know what I mean? You're trying to do your thing, but it's the thing is sometimes the grass is greener because the person is actually looking at your grass and thinking about their own grass. Now, you're not thinking about that grass. You're thinking about your grass because you're busy. Okay, you with me? That's how I see it. I'm so grateful for you, Miss Mia, wholeheartedly. I appreciate you. I love this. Thank you so much. AJ, I think I'm saying your name right. Good job. Thank you for watching. I'm so glad. She says, I don't want to play small anymore. Erica says, born for so much more. See, that was your aha, right? Like your aha was that you're born for so much more. You were born for so much more. And I love, just being here and supporting this. Will this program help if you're just getting started in business and no clients? Kimberly, most of the people who work with me, they have no clients, they have no product, but they do have an ability to create results with what they do. They just don't have the knowledge of how to put together what they're doing in a structure that's highly monetizable. The way that I coach them through, it's not only that you get access to a video training system of me coaching my clients live, around, how to have the mindset to be able to show up like a giant. But I also do 2 days of live coaching with you where I help you unpack what this thing could be, how you can monetize this, how you can take your knowledge and your gifts and put it together. And the coolest thing is that while I'm answering the questions for a day and a half, it's a full day. The last one started, I think, at 11 o'clock to about 7 o'clock on a Saturday. And then it went from like 11 o'clock to about 4 o'clock on a Sunday. And I'm answering questions. I'm pulling back the layers. And most people who come say that they have never seen anything like it. And it's the reason why my clients are very successful. I don't hold back. I just give them what I have. I give them all that I have. And I appreciate truth and authenticity. And I only teach you what I know how to do. And not only will you learn from me coaching you directly, Kimberly, but it also will be that I'm coaching someone else who has a question that you didn't know to ask. And then I'll answer their question. And from that, you get your whole life. Like, you're like, this is what it could be. Right. And it's the first time I've ever been in a room having an elevated conversation. And that's what I want to do, is have an elevated conversation, support more women with renegotiating the way that they earn. Most of my clients do not have a product before they come. And even the ones that do end up changing what they're doing, because based on the models of how I teach it, there's an easier way to be able to do things. So, there are many different ways. It's not one size fits all. That's not the way I coach you around it. And, so if you have another question, feel free to, to jump in. I'll answer it. Lois says, thanks, me. I have elevated my thinking based on your live conversation. Thank you. I appreciate it. Are there any other comments or questions about the Giant Experience? I'm so excited. The next event is the 25th and the 26th, the live event, the live coaching. When you sign up, you get immediate access to my training and you can start watching right away. But in addition to that, I think the greatest value is the 2-day live coaching with me. And I'm just there. I'll answer your questions so that you get, so that you get what you need. Kim says, wow, I launched my business, but can't seem to get it off the ground. The Giant Experience is something worth checking out. Don't take my word for it. There are tons of women that were here. I don't know if they're still here that attended a Giant Experience. If you attended a Giant Experience, and would you recommend it for Kimberly? Would you not recommend it for Kimberly? Post it here if you've attended. And also just look on the page, the landing page, and you'll be able to see for yourself the experience of many women who within weeks, many within a few months, within a year, I've created amazing results because of my process through the Giant Experience Master Training. We've got a turnkey system that works, and it's not a hype thing. We've got hundreds and hundreds of results, and that we can back up with videos, like testimonies, not just me saying it, but we have the proof, and clients have created amazing results. And I just work with very strong women who are smart. They're incredible. And they have been looking for someone. The Giant Experience is only for women. And they've been looking for someone that will, pull back the layers and show them what they've not seen before. To show them step by step. Paula's here. She attended a Giant Experience. She said, recommend it. It's worth the investment. Thank you, Paula. I appreciate that. That's what I would tell you. It's an incredible course. It's something that I wish I would have had it when I got started in business. Sometimes we learn a lot of different things, but we don't learn the most direct way that we can get started in growing a business, right? Are there any other clients here that attended the Giant Experience Master Training? And if so, would you recommend it for Kimberly? And if you would recommend it, if you're here, then why? I mean, you guys can even tag her if you watch the replay, and so that you can, let her know why, or why would you not? Why would you not attend it? We've had hundreds of people come through. We have had 2 refunds, and one person was just not ready. One had a life situation, and she just wasn't ready. That was it. And it was just very clear to me. And I'm not in the business of I don't want your money. I want your results, right? Because when my clients create results, they tell the truth, and that's the thing. And I think you could be a lot of different ways in coaching people. I think you could be a coach and you can say, "Hey, I just want the money. I don't care if you get the results or not. I just want the money, but I want the results." And when I get the results, then running my business has been the easiest thing ever, because my clients get amazing results, and it's my commitment. That's how I run it. And so I'm always properly compensated for running the business and the company, but I'm never searching for clients, because if you create results, then finding clients is easy. You know what I mean? So I hope that supports you. Are there any other questions? Any questions before I sign off? I want to thank you for being amazing. I appreciate you. I hope that tomorrow your weather's good wherever you are, and that have the opportunity to get outside and do something that you love. I gardened almost all day. Okay. Anita posted a comment saying, before I attended Giant Experience, I had a $250 product. After the Giant Experience, I had a $2,000 product. After coaching with me, I'm now pitching a $15,000 product to organizations. So I think that's pretty cool, right? And this was good. Thank you again. I appreciate you, right? So, make sure you get outside, do something fun that you love. And Erica says the Giant Experience is fire. So, like I said, I'll just ask my clients. They'll tell you whether it is or not. And, and then we just go from there. All right. Truth is always the best way to lead. Right. Uh, and Patricia says, thank you. I need to get out in some nature and recharge. I'm out there every day. I just posted some pictures also on the Mia Redrick page of my garden. Now, you guys know that I'm in Maryland, so it's not hot yet. Okay. We're still like in spring. So, but they're beautiful, right? And they're just getting a nice start. So I like to post pictures right now of my plant babies, and then I'll post some in like probably in a month, because that's what moms do, right? And then I'll post some the next month, and you'll be able to see by the end of the summer it'll look so tropical and amazing and all that. So I'm so excited about that. They're like my kids. All right. I love you guys. Have a great and amazing day. Again, if I can support you anyway, you can always inbox us. Kimberly, you're in Maryland. Awesome. You can always inbox us, or you sign up for Giant Experience. I'll see you on the inside. All right. Bye.